The first time she told me I wasn't a good fit for her work events, I laughed it off. We were in the kitchen, her hair still damp from the shower, makeup half done, teetering around in those red heels that always made her taller than me. She poured herself coffee, kissed me on the cheek, and said, "It's just, you know how you can be sometimes. It's not really your scene." Your scene. I let it pass. Back then, I was the quiet husband. The one in the background of her Instagram photos, holding her coat or standing half a step out of frame. I thought it was love, giving her space to shine. We'd been married 8 years, and I'd never missed one of her big nights before. But that evening, I stayed home. I opened a beer, turned on the game, and told myself she just wanted to keep work and home separate. The second time was different. She didn't even bother to soften it. We were sitting in traffic when she casually dropped, "So, you don't need to come to the company holiday gala this year. I told everyone you're traveling for work." I blinked at her. "Why?" She kept her eyes on the road. "Because last time you were a little awkward, and it's a high-profile event. I don't want to be embarrassed, okay?" That one stung. Not because of what she said, though that wasn't fun, but because of how she said it. Like I was some reckless little brother she had to keep out of trouble. That night, I sat in my office, lights off, staring at the framed photo of us from our wedding day. She'd been glowing, clutching my arm like she'd never let go. Now she was embarrassed by me. So I started paying attention. Her phone would light up at odd hours, names I didn't recognize. She started working late, 3 nights a week. When she did come home, she smelled like perfume she didn't wear for me. Once, I walked past the bathroom while she was getting ready for one of those parties I wasn't supposed to attend, and I heard her humming, light, happy, like a woman in love. It wasn't with me, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. I had my own history with the corporate world. 10 years ago, I'd built and sold a software company for a figure large enough to buy most people's dreams twice over. I'd invested, quietly, in a few other ventures. My name wasn't on many doors anymore, but my signature was still on a lot of contracts. One afternoon, I did some digging. Her company wasn't massive, maybe 150 employees, but it was profitable. A boutique marketing firm with a shiny client list and a reputation for exclusivity. I pulled the filings, looked at the shareholder structure. Her boss, a woman named Cassandra Stratton, owned the majority stake, but not enough to block a serious buyer with deep pockets. Deep pockets like mine. The plan formed slowly, almost gently. I wasn't thinking about revenge. Not at first. I just wanted to see what would happen if I stopped standing in the background. 2 months later, I was sitting across from Cassandra in a private dining room at one of the nicer steakhouses in the city. She didn't know me as Melissa's husband. She knew me as an investor with an interest in boutique marketing. I'd had my team run the numbers. I knew where they were over-leveraged, where a little pressure might make a sale appealing. "I can offer you a valuation 20% above market," I told her over a glass of Cabernet. "Clean. Fast. No disruption to your client base." Cassandra raised an eyebrow. "And what do you want in return?" "Control," I said. The deal closed in 6 weeks. On paper, it was a merger. In reality, I'd bought them outright. I waited. The invitation to the annual company party arrived by email, sent by the events coordinator, who didn't yet know the new ownership was me. Melissa didn't mention it. 3 days before the party, she came home in a tight black dress, holding a garment bag. "Got my outfit for Friday," she said. "It's going to be huge this year. Big clients, media, everything. Please, don't take this the wrong way, but it's better if you don't come." I nodded. "Sure. Wouldn't want to embarrass you." Friday night, I arrived late. The ballroom was all crystal chandeliers and soft jazz, the kind of place where even the waiters look like they make 6 figures. I wore a tailored navy suit, no tie, just enough confidence to belong without trying too hard. I spotted her near the stage, laughing at something Cassandra said. Her hand rested lightly on a man's arm. I recognized him. A co-worker she'd mentioned once or twice. The kind of man who works out more than he works. She didn't see me at first. Cassandra did. Her expression flickered. Confusion, then recognition, then something that almost looked like fear. I walked to the stage as the MC was about to introduce our leadership team. I took the microphone. "Good evening," I began, my voice carrying easily in the hush that followed. "I realize most of you don't know me yet. My name is Daniel Cole, and as of last month, I'm the new majority owner and CEO of Stratton & Company. The silence was electric. Melissa's smile froze. Cassandra's glass stopped halfway to her lips. I'm here tonight, I continued, not just to celebrate a year of incredible work, but to tell you about the future we're building together. A future where the talent in this room is matched by the resources to make it unstoppable. I spoke for maybe 5 minutes about growth, innovation, the usual corporate optimism. When I stepped down, every eye followed me. Melissa didn't move. She found me later, near the balcony. What the hell was that? She hissed. I sipped my drink. An introduction. Your boss seemed to forget to make one. You. She glanced around. You bought the company? Why? I met her eyes calm. Because you told me not to come. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. I let the silence hang. Then I added, Melissa, you've spent months treating me like I'm some inconvenience to be hidden away. I've spent those same months deciding whether the woman I married even exists anymore. She flinched. This isn't how you fix things. I'm not here to fix things, I said quietly. I'm here because I got tired of standing outside the room where my own wife pretends I don't belong. The rest of the night, people treated me differently. The same coworkers who'd barely noticed me before were suddenly all handshakes and questions. Cassandra tried to make small talk, but I could see the calculations behind her eyes. Melissa stayed at my side for a while, stiff as stone, then drifted away to the bar. I didn't follow. Owning the company didn't magically fix my marriage. If anything, it held a mirror up to what was already broken. But it did something for me. It reminded me that I didn't have to accept the role I'd been quietly assigned. The husband in the corner, the man too awkward to be seen. A month later, Melissa moved out. She said she couldn't be married to her boss. I didn't argue. I signed the papers, kept the company, and went back to building something that was mine again. Every now and then, I walk past the framed wedding photo still hanging in my office. She's still smiling in it, still clutching my arm like she'd never let go. But now, I look at it differently. Because I remember the night she told me not to come. And I remember the night I walked in anyway, through the front door, under the chandeliers, as the man no one saw coming. Not as her plus one. As the man who owned the room. The Monday after the party, my office door stayed closed most of the day. I'd taken the corner suite, Cassandra's old one, and swapped the heavy walnut desk for something modern, glass and steel. Melissa didn't come in. She wasn't technically on my payroll. Her role was on the client side, but I knew she'd be avoiding the hallways. Around noon, my assistant buzzed. Melissa Cole here to see you. I let her in. She stepped inside like she was walking into enemy territory. Arms folded. No smile. So, CEO, she said. Was that the plan all along? No, I said honestly. At first, it was curiosity. Then it became an opportunity. She laughed, short, bitter. You bought my company just to prove you belong in my world. I leaned back in my chair. Melissa, I was in this world before you even applied for your first job. The only difference is, I never needed to announce it. Her eyes flashed. So this was payback. I shook my head. No, this was a reminder. For both of us. The weeks that followed were tense in ways only power shifts can be. The leadership team adjusted quickly, money talks, after all, but there was a chill between Melissa and me. She stopped coming home some nights. I didn't ask where she was. I didn't need to. One evening, while reviewing an old file, I saw her name on an internal client report, flagged for inappropriate relationship concerns. It was dated 2 months before I bought the company. I sat with that information for a long time. Not angry, not surprised, just done. When the divorce papers came, they were clean and professional. She asked for nothing but her freedom. We signed in silence. No public drama, no theatrics. Just the final quiet collapse of something that had been dying for a long time. Owning the company changed me in ways I hadn't expected. It wasn't about Melissa anymore. It was about proving to myself that I could still walk into any room and command it. That I could be the man who built, who decided, who led. Some nights, when the office is empty and the city glows through the windows, I think back to that first moment under the chandeliers. The look on her face when I said, I'm the new CEO. It wasn't triumph I felt then. It was clarity. And clarity stays with you. 3 months after the gala, Melissa's name came up in a quarterly leadership review. Not in a good way. 2 client accounts, both high profile, both lucrative, had quietly moved their contracts to competitors. The exit interviews hinted at boundary issues and unprofessional conduct involving members of the account teams. I already knew the details. The man I'd seen her laughing with at the party, the coworker who worked out more than he worked, wasn't just a fling. He was also on the payroll, and the internal HR investigation I'd authorized found messages, receipts, and enough inappropriate after-hours meetings to choke an attorney. From a purely corporate perspective, I had a decision to make. From a personal one, I'd already made it. The next Monday, I scheduled a closed-door meeting with HR, legal, and Melissa. She came in looking like she'd been rehearsing her defenses. Before she could open her mouth, HR slid a thick folder across the table. "Melissa, we've documented multiple policy violations, including breaches of client trust. You're being offered the option to resign effective immediately, or we can proceed with formal termination for cause." She turned to me, eyes sharp. "This is you." I didn't deny it. "This is the company. I'm just the one who signs the paperwork." Her voice dropped. "You've been planning this since before you bought us." I met her gaze without flinching. "No, I've been paying attention since before I bought you." She took the resignation option. I knew she would. Melissa could live with a lie better than she could live with a scandal. 2 days later, the man she'd been seeing was also gone. Not because of what happened between them, but because I'd sold his department to a smaller agency that didn't see him as worth the salary. Life after that was quiet. No more awkward silences in our house. No more invitations I wasn't welcome to attend. Just the work, the growth of the company, and a clear view out of my office window of the city I now had a much bigger piece of. I ran into her only once after that. It was at a restaurant in Midtown, the kind of place where people go to be seen. She was at the bar with a group, dressed to the nines, laughing a little too loudly. When she saw me, her smile faltered. I nodded politely, and for a moment, I could see it in her eyes. That night under the chandeliers, the shift when she realized the man she thought she could sideline had walked in and taken the room. She didn't come over. She didn't have to. We both knew how the story ended. Not with shouting. Not with revenge. With ownership, in every sense of the word.